Peavy pitched for pitch. And way back in the middle of April, he had 13 strikeouts against San Francisco, so needless to say, he can be brilliant. However, he is 0-2, and his earned run average is over 5. He is 1-1 in 2 starts against the Nationals. And we will see how he goes tonight. Usually he pitches very well at Dodger Stadium. He's had 13 games here. His ERA is 2.8. Take him out of Dodger Stadium, his earned run average is 6.5. So a big difference, and he's allowed just 1 run in 14 innings here as he goes to work on Christian Guzman, the switch hitting shortstop, big guy out of the Dominican Republic, and takes a pitch that goes all the way to the backstop, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and that immediately tells you one indication. What Clayton Kershaw needs to establish immediately is his fastball. Once he gets the fastball going, then the curveball becomes so much more effective. Fastball low, though he's behind 2-0. Guzman at 6 feet 195. He was originally signed by the Yankees. He was about 16 years old, and he had only completed the 7th grade in grammar school when he signed. He takes high, so all of a sudden now Kershaw is behind 3-0. It is a midsummer's night. 84 degrees as the game gets underway. And for the Dodgers, a midsummer's night dream, they hope. 3-0 pitch to Guzman, in for a strike, in the count 3-1. The Clayton Kershaw opening it up for the Dodgers. Tomorrow night, it'll be Randy Wolf and Jordan Zimmerman. Clayton ready, in the 3-1 pitch to Guzman, and he promptly bangs it into the gap in left center. Kemp over to cut it off on a long hop, and holding it first with the single is Christian Guzman. So a leadoff single. We'll take a look at the Dodgers with the leather. Ramirez, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. The infield of Blake Furcal, Hudson, and Loney, and the battery will be Clayton Kershaw and Russell Martin. Nick Johnson checking in now with a runner at first and nobody out. Nick Johnson is the nephew of Larry Bowa, the Dodgers third base coach. Nick's grandfather was Larry's dad, and his mom is Larry's oldest sister. Big left-hand hitter, big swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. Nick Johnson was a 3rd-round pick by the Yankees in 1996. Born, raised, and still lives in Sacramento. Went to McClatchy High School up there. Was a bat boy for the Phillies twice. And now, of course, a big star for the Nationals. Hitting .333. Kershaw, slow breaking ball for a strike. Johnson with 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Johnson in the minor leagues was hit by a lot of pitches. In fact, he established an Eastern League record one year. He was hit 37 times. So far this year, he's been hit twice. The next one to Nick is swung on and missed. So he takes big swings and down he goes. So Kershaw gives up a single, then strikes out Johnson. And the batter now will be Ryan Zimmerman. No nonsense fastball just above the belt, and he just blew Johnson away. Ryan Zimmerman is the face of this Washington ball club. He is their standout player. He had 110 RBIs a couple of years ago, and he comes here with a 23-game hitting streak. Comes from a neighborhood that's produced quite a few outstanding athletes, the Sandbridge area of Virginia Beach. Kershaw ready, comes to him off speed, high and away, ball 1. 70-mile-an-hour curveball that didn't have much of a break on it. Zimmerman hitting .333 with 5 home runs and 19 runs batted in. Some of the athletes from his area: Allen Iverson, Alonzo Mourning, Michael and Marcus Vick, David Wright of the Mets, and the Upton boys, BJ and Justin. And of course, Justin just left here. So Zimmerman with a runner at first, 1 out, first inning, no score. Just getting underway. Ryan Zimmerman, well put together, 6'3", 215-pounder, 24 years old. And the next pitch to him is swung on and foul back. Good fastball. 1-1 to count. In Ryan Zimmerman's big rookie year, he became only the third National League rookie in 53 seasons to have 100 or more RBIs. That great year, he had 110. Mike Piazza, as a rookie, had 112. Albert Pujols, as a rookie, 130. 1-1 pitch on the way, and Zim takes high. Ball 2, 2-1. He is not the only Zimmerman on the club. There is a pitcher, no relation, Jordan Zimmerman, and Jordan Zimmerman will be pitching against Randy Wolf tomorrow night. Dodgers have beaten Washington 9 straight here at Dodger Stadium. Zimmerman waiting, and Kershaw delivers, and that swung on and fouled away. 2-2. They did a study, Stats Inc., and they came up with a rather remarkable note. You think the Dodgers beating the Nationals 9 in a row here is something? How about the Milwaukee Brewers? The Brewers at home have beaten the Pittsburgh Pirates 18 consecutive times. Cleveland has done it 13 times to Tampa Bay, and Milwaukee has also beat Toronto 10 times at home without a loss. 2-2 pitch from Kershaw is taken just inside. Ball 3. 3-2 the count. So Kershaw, to look at the opposition batting at home here at Dodger Stadium, the opposition is hitting 109 against Clayton. On the road, 340, a staggering difference. Now the 3-2 pitch will watch Guzman, and so will Kershaw. He'll throw over to first. Nick Johnson struck out for Kershaw's first strikeout. Guzman taking his lead at first. He is 1 for 1 in stolen bases. We'll see if they run him. Kershaw again going over there, and Guzman back on the bag. So Guzman at first, 1 out, first inning, no score. Just starting on a beautiful summer's evening. Kershaw hiding the ball back of his left hip. Now comes set up around the collarbone. And the 3-2 pitch on the way with the runner going is a ground ball base hit into left field. So with Guzman under a full head of steam going into third, Kershaw is in trouble. A 91-mile-an-hour fastball. And for Ryan Zimmerman, he is now hit safely in 24 straight. Clean as a whistle, single to left. And the Nats, as they call him, have runners at first and third, 1 out. And the batter will be Adam Dunn. We told you the big difference, what happens here at Dodger Stadium with the Dodgers. How about the opponents? On this homestand with runners in scoring position, the opposition is hitting 109. And for the year, they are hitting an unbelievable 128. So Manny Acta hoping to break the spell. That's Jim Riggleman on Manny's right. Jim, of course, spent time with the Dodgers. He's his bench coach. So 1 out, first inning, first and third, and here's big Adam Dunn, and he looks at a slow breaking ball for ball 1. Adam Dunn, kind of a feast or famine hitter. He has 7 home runs, 20 RBIs. He has struck out 24 times, but he has a lot of respect around the league. He has as many walks as Manny Ramirez, 25. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Kershaw's fastball golfed at and missed. 1-1. They can't really put the picket fence up on the right side, but almost. But Rafael Furcal cannot go beyond the bag. First and third, 1 out. So Rafael is filling up the middle. Guzman down the line from third. Zimmerman away from first. 1-1 pitch off speed, and that's hit foul off third. Coming over to take a look is Casey Blake, but that's about all. Adam Dunn is a big man in every way. Among other things, he is 6'6". He weighs about 275 pounds. He was the number 2 pick by the Reds back in 1998. He had 4 straight years where he hit at least 40 home runs. Top year was 46. Kershaw on a 1-2 count, set, ready, and deals at the chin. 2-2 the count to Adam Dunn. By the way, in talking about Dunn with the 4 straight years of 40 or more home runs, just to remind you about how great he is, Babe Ruth, the only player to hit 40 or more 7 straight seasons. So Adam back up and waiting. He'll be 30 in November. And Kershaw's next one in at the knuckles. Though he goes all the way. Well, he went 3-2 to Zimmerman, and Ryan single to left, sending Guzman to third. Now he's 3-2 on Dunn, and Elijah Dukes on deck. So Adam Dunn waiting at the plate, trying to get the ball club on the scoreboard with 4 batters. And the 3-2 pitch, Zimmerman does not go, and it's swung on and missed. So Adam Dunn, who has always been a feast or famine hitter, he has struck out as many as 195 times in his career. And a no-nonsense pitch. It was up and out over the plate, and it was just by Adam Dunn. So now Elijah Dukes coming up as Dunn looks back at Kershaw, going back into the dugout. When the hitters look back at the pitcher, I think that's a pretty good nod of appreciation. So Elijah Dukes waiting now. Kershaw trying to get out of the inning, and the right-hand hitter takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Dukes hitting .309, 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Elijah Dukes is from Homestead, Florida, and even as a little boy, he suffered a bad break. Kershaw out of a stretch in the strike 1 pitch, and Elijah off speed, a change in there for a strike, and the count 0-2, 72 miles an hour. Big bender that just dropped right into Martin's mitt. 0-2 the count. When Elijah was 8 years old, Hurricane Andrew wiped out his family's home, and he had to move to a rundown part of Tampa, and it was a tough way to grow up. Strike 2 pitch on the way as a throw to first. Elijah Dukes, 24 years old, another young player with the Nationals, 6'2", 220. Last year, 13 home runs, 44 runs batted in. Originally drafted by the Tampa Ray Devil Rays 7 years ago. Here's the strike 2 pitch, and that's up, ball 1. 1-2 the count. In the inning, if you just joined us, Christian Guzman singled. Johnson struck out on a 3-2 pitch. Zimmerman single to left. Guzman taking third. Zimmerman is now hit safely in 24 straight. Adam Dunn struck out, and here is Dukes 1-2. Kershaw ready. Here he comes. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Russell Martin, and a 2-ball 2-strike count. So the Dodgers trying to shut down the Nationals, who have to be a little bit on the weary side. Washington yesterday played into the 11th inning in a 10-10 tie with the Houston Astros. They'll finish that game in Houston because the Astros do not go back to Washington this year. Deuce's wild fastball, and it is low, and Kershaw looked like he was 0 at throwing. He hit 95 on the gun, but he came flying off the mound. So he's had a bunch of 3-2 counts, living dangerously, and with 2 out, they're not going to hold Zimmerman, and Ryan ready to do a little running. He's never involved in a stolen base. Kershaw out of a stretch, and the 3-2 pitch, it's a breaking ball on a check swing. No swing, says Angel Campos, and the bases are loaded. So Kershaw struggling, 2 hits and a walk, bases loaded with 2 out, and they go to Austin Kearns. So a little meeting at the mound. Rick Honeycutt going out to try to solve the problem. Austin Kearns was another high #1 pick by the Cincinnati Reds. He's out of Kentucky, and when he came up with Cincinnati, everybody thought he was going to be a superstar. Kentucky called him Mr. Baseball. He's going to be 29 at the end of the month, and another big guy. He's 6'3", 245. One of the things we will always remember about Austin Kearns was a game here when he was facing Dodger pitcher Giovanni Carrara. And Giovanni, on a fastball up and in, hit Kearns, gave him a black eye, hit him on the left side of the head. The helmet did a lot of damage. They had to have a CAT scan. The pitch to Austin is taken for a strike. Thank goodness Kearns was okay, but he did say he had a headache for 24 hours. What happened, the pitch hit the helmet, pushed that into his face, opened a cut above his left eyebrow. It was more frightening to look at than the damage it did. Strike one pitch. Kearns takes in the dirt, another block, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. In case you wonder, with the bases loaded, Guzman at third, Zimmerman at second, Dukes at first. Austin Kearns has 2 grand slams, one of them this year. Not only has he been beaten, but he's had a lot of physical problems to slow him down. 1-1 pitch on the way, taken very high, ball 2. It was in 2004, Austin Kearns was facing Ryan Vogelsong with Pittsburgh, and he was hit on the left forearm and suffered a broken arm. So beamed, broken arm, he's gone through some pain. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Kearns, and that's taken for a strike. So Kershaw is making a lot of pitches. He has now made 30 pitches in the first inning, and he's not through. The deuces are wild and the bases are loaded. So Guzman, Zimmerman, and Dukes take their leads. 2-2 the count to Austin Kearns. Clayton ready. Fastball is low. No, at the corner for a strike. So hold everything as Darrell Cousins punches him out. Kearns started a walk, we thought, towards first base. So the D-backs are gone. The Nationals fail to score, and here come the Dodgers. Temperature, a very rocky way to start the evening. Let's take a look at the Dodgers now offensively. It'll be Furcal, Hudson, and Ramirez, Ethier, Loney, and Martin, Kemp, Blake, and Kershaw in that order as the Dodgers try to make it 13-0 at the start of the year. Daniel Cabrera. First of all, he's about 6 feet 8 or 9. He weighs 260. He'll be 28 the end of May, and we'll give you one note. He has struck out 9, and he has 7 wild pitches. He is 0-2. He has walked 17 in 24 innings, and the big guy delivers a drag bunt by Furcal. It's going to be fielded and thrown too late. It's in the dirt behind Johnson, and Rafael is safely aboard with a drag single as Guzman tried to get him. But as soon as he got it by the mound, you knew that Furcal had the play beaten. The Rafael punches the ball just by the mound. It was virtually impossible play. Guzman bounced it, but it would not have been in time even had it carried in the air. So a base hit for call, slap bunt, and the batter now will be Orlando Hudson. So Cabrera, who has struggled, begins by giving up a base hit. Orlando Hudson checking in, hitting .333, 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Pretty good breeze blowing from left to right. And the pitch is high, ball 1, 1-0. So for Orlando Hudson, with his 3 home runs, he's conscious of those flags flapping. And Orlando takes a look at Larry Bowa for the moment. 1 ball and no strikes. Bottom of the first, no score and a record on the line. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's taken for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Daniel Cabrera. He's from San Pedro de Macorís, originally drafted by the Orioles. Grew up tough circumstances, shined shoes, worked in a car wash, sold sandwiches. In fact, it was only 2 years of playing baseball when the Orioles signed him. The next one is swung on line down the left field line, just inside the chalk. On his way to third is for call. He will stop on a double by Hudson. And the Dodgers have second and third and nobody out. So Orlando Hudson goes the other way. The only thing about Orlando doubling for call to third is the fact first base is open, and the crowd will not be happy if they walk Manny Ramirez intentionally. So Hudson doubles for call, goes to third. For Orlando, he has 10 doubles, and we'll keep an eye now on Jesus Flores to see whether they will pitch to Manny or not. Ramirez hitting .348, 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Ramirez, Hudson, and Ethier have been consistently being on base, making Acta very uncomfortable, and they decided to pitch to Manny. The big Cabrera ready, right-handed delivers, swung on and missed. 0-1. Couple of tough Dominicans battling it out right now. The 0-1 to count. Cabrera working from the first base side of the rubber, leans in to get a sign. Now the strike 1 pitch coming up to Manny. Cabrera delivers on the inside at the knuckles. 1 ball and 1 strike. Manny 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in. He's been on base 57 times already in the games in which he has played. Cabrera, who once dreamed of playing in the NBA, delivers low and inside, ball 2. Of course, however big he is, some say 6'9", some say 6'10". He's too big to argue with anyway. But he thought he'd be the first NBA player from the Dominican. Back in the 90s, with all the other jobs he had, he was selling bread and eggs in the city streets. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Manny Ramirez, and that's down and away, ball 3. So he challenged him on the first pitch. Letter high fastball. Now he's nibbled and he's gone 3-1. On deck, Andre Ethier. Dodgers have done a lot of damage in the first inning. They've scored 27 runs so far in the first inning this year. Now the 3-1 pitch coming up. Manny swings, doesn't get it. 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count now goes 3-2. Cabrera has certainly not been helped by his defense. He's had 7 unearned runs charged against him. Still a big guy who really didn't even throw a baseball until just 2 years before he was signed by the Orioles. Has second and third and nobody out. And the 3-2 pitch to Manny Ramirez. Cabrera delivers, and a hook is low for ball 4. So quite a first inning. The National had the bases loaded. Dunn and Hearn striking out along the way. Johnson also struck out. Now the Dodgers, who are making it a habit of getting off to a good jump, have the bases loaded and nobody out. And Andre Ethier coming up. Ethier, in his young career, no slams, but blazing hot at home, hitting .419, 5 of his 6 home runs, 17 of his 26 RBIs at home. So Cabrera in a mess and delivers very high, ball 1. The Dodgers have scored 27 first inning runs in 28 games. They've scored in the first inning 8 of the 12 at Dodger Stadium. And they're in a familiar role right now. Joe's boys, bases loaded, nobody out. The 1-0 pitch to Ethier is fouled away, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So Ethier, Loney, and Martin now trying to get the Dodgers off on the right foot. Dodgers have won 6 in a row. They started the year 2-3, and they've turned that around to win 18 of 23. They've beaten Washington 9 straight here. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Cabrera with the bases loaded delivers a little ground ball to the right side. Belly yard to the shortstop. Guzman gets it to Johnson for the double play. Rafael Furcal scores, and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead. So Ethier a 4-6-3 double play. On the double play, Hudson advancing to third as Furcal brought the run in. No RBI for Ethier, and the batter will be James Loney. Dodgers 1, Nationals nothing, bottom of the first inning. And Loney hitting .270 with 18 runs batted in. Well, of course, with a runner at third, if you're Jesus Flores, the catcher, you're handling a guy who has had 7 wild pitches already. The Cabrera looks over at Hudson, and the first one in for a strike, and the count 0-1. So Loney, who led the Dodgers last year with 90 runs batted in, trying to pick one up now with 2 out. Cabrera again out of a stretch. Strike 1 pitch, fastball, and that's in there for a strike. You have to keep an eye on Darrell Cousins. He doesn't raise his right arm. He just kind of points down at home plate on a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. The count to James Loney. Dodgers with a batting average of .320 at home, and they've hit 15 home runs here. Strike 2 pitch is down and dirty. Great save by Jesus Flores. The Flores saves Cabrera from his 8th wild pitch, and holding at third is Orlando Hudson. Ebb was backhanded and kind of just slowed down, squirted off the mitt, but Flores at least kept it in the neighborhood. So Hudson down the line from third. Cabrera pitching from a stretch, and a 1-2 count to James Loney. Cabrera again ready. Big Daniel comes back, and Loney swings and misses, and down he goes. So the Dodgers load the bases with nobody out, and they're lucky to get 1. And at the end of an inning, Dodgers 1, Nationals nothing. Dodgers get one out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation, leading 1-0 as we go to the second inning. Ronnie Belliard, followed by Jesus Flores, and then the pitcher, Daniel Cabrera. Ronnie Belliard has certainly been around. He came up with the Brewers back in 1994. He's also played with the Rockies, the Indians, the Cardinals, and the Nationals. And Ronnie takes ball one, 1-0. He was born in the Bronx, lives in Florida. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, and Belliard takes high, ball 2. Ryan Zimmerman had a first inning single to extend his hitting streak to 24. Back in 1996 in the minor leagues, Belliard had a 23-game hitting streak, so he can share the experience. 2-0 pitch, and Ron takes a strike. 2-1 the count. For Belliard, with a nickname of Belly, weight is always an issue. He's about 5'8", maybe 195 pounds. Swings and hits one foul off to the right, out of play. For Belliard, the people who watch him play every day always check his pants. He is apparently very superstitious. Sometimes he has them low like they are now, where they brush the ground. Other times he'll pull his shirt out over his hips. He's way out in front, and down he goes on that 72-mile-an-hour curveball. So Clayton Kershaw, who made 31 pitches in the first inning, has now struck out all 4 for the outs, with 1 out in the second inning, and the batter will be Jesus Flores, the catcher. So Belliard bites the dust, and here is Flores. So for Kershaw, who struck out as many as 13 Giants back in early April, he's off and running. 1-0 Dodgers, second inning. And here is Flores from Venezuela, originally signed by the Mets. He swings, fouls it away, 0-1. When the Mets signed Jesus, he was regarded as their top catching prospect, and the Nats stole him in the Rule 5 draft. Another player in that Rule 5 draft was Josh Hamilton. Now the strike one pitch on the way, that's low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hamilton went on to Texas and had a 100 RBI year, huge. Flores, meanwhile, with the Nationals, up and down last year. The 1-1 pitch on the way is swung on and fouled off, and the count 1-2. As a young catcher in Venezuela, Flores idolized Ivan Rodriguez and also big Andres Galarraga. He has always been a pull hitter, though he's had a tendency to open up his front side too early, so he usually gets a lot of sliders away. 1-2 pitch on the way is a bounce curveball. Boy, I'll tell you one thing, Kershaw might be beating up the Nationals with strikeouts, but he's doing a number on his catcher, Russell Martin. Martin's had his nose in the dirt on a lot of pitches, and some of them come up and hit him on the forearm, and that one got him on the left arm. So for Russell, all in a day or night's work, and the 2-2 pitch is swung on, popped up on the left side for a call right there to squeeze it for the second out. So 2 down, second inning, 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers, and what a nice strike zone brought up by Daniel Cabrera. So, you know, you can join the Dodgers on the road in Chicago. Go to the Windy City May 28th through the 30th. Watch the Dodgers and Cubs at Wrigley. You include hotel accommodations, meet and greet on the field with a current Dodger. Quite a package. To purchase, visit Dodgers.com/road trips. The pitch to Cabrera is high. You can also call 323-224-2646. So the big man, Daniel Cabrera, and the 1-0 pitch, he backs off, and that's in for a strike, and a 1 ball 1 strike count. The Cabrera, who never made it to the NBA, but he did make it to the big leagues. 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, that's in there, 1-2. There was one player who not only made it to the majors, he also made it to the NBA. Gene Conley of the Braves. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball in there. Strike 3 call. 5 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw in 2 innings. And at the end of an inning and a half, Dodgers 1, Nationals nothing. Lead Washington 1-0, led by Clayton Kershaw, striking out 5, and he has made 45 pitches in 2 innings. Meanwhile, the Dodgers had a single double walk and settled for 1 in the first inning. For the Washington pitchers, they are certainly accustomed to pitching out of the stretch as Martin, Kemp, and Blake prepare to face Cabrera. The big right-hander into the windup, and the pitch to Martin is taken low and inside, ball 1. The opposition's batting average against Washington when they're on the road is .309. The 1-0 pitch, and Martin takes high, ball 2. One of the things that is never talked about amongst players, fear or lack of fear. But if a player is aware of Daniel Cabrera's pitching performances, as he's high again, ball 3, you really would have to fight the thought of being afraid. For instance, last year, I mean, he was a holy terror. The 3-0 pitch, and that's a strike. He led the American League in wild pitches last year with 15. He hit 18 batters, and he walked 90. Here's the 3-1 pitch on the way. Martin promptly strokes it into center for a base hit. So a 3-1 fastball to a major league hitter is like a letter from home. And Martin a line single, and that will bring up Matt Kemp. So for Russell Martin, hitting better than .250 during the homestand, and he's been on base 7 of his last 12 plate appearances. So now here is Cabrera to face Matt Kemp. One other thought, Cabrera so far this year has only hit 1, but he's as wild as ever with the 7 wild pitches. So here is Matt Kemp. Kemp struggling during the homestand. The Dodgers being very successful, and he's just hitting 190. And Matt hits a hard ground ball to short, and Guzman kicks it, and everybody is safe. And remember, we told you that Cabrera has been burned with unearned runs. Manny Acta must have a stomach that's lined with metal to be able to take in games played by the Nationals so far. Perfect double play ball, and Guzman just kicks it. And the Dodgers, on the error by the shortstop, now have runners at first and second and nobody out. So the Dodgers are not only playing very well, but the opposition is playing poorly. So 2 on, nobody out. Here's Casey Blake. Well, the last time Casey came into a situation like this, right after the shortstop kicked the double play ball, remember, Casey lined into a triple play. Let's see what he does this time. The first pitch in for a strike. Oh, Darrell Cousins raising his right arm that time. Whoa. 0-1 to count. Casey batting .230, 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Out of a stretch goes Cabrera, back high and inside, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Though Cabrera fell behind 3-1. He's got a 2-seam fastball that should sink. Slider, slow curve, change, and a cutter for a left-hand hitter. Daniel ready, looks back at the runners. 1-1 pitch, fastball way inside. That almost got Blake. It was 90 miles an hour. So there you are, standing at home plate. You're wearing a helmet, sure, but you got a guy maybe 6'9", standing on top of that 10-inch mound, throwing 90, with a reputation of being wilder than anything this side of Barnum and Bailey. The 2-1 pitch to Casey Blake, swung on, ground ball to the right side, smothered by Belliard. His only play is to first. He thought about going to second and then took the out instead. So Blake grounds out. Nice play by Ronnie Belliard, and the Dodgers move up to second and third. So Belliard gets his man at first, and Clayton Kershaw coming up. Kershaw is 1 for 9, but the interesting thing about Clayton, he has only struck out once. Infield has to play up as the Dodgers tried to add another thanks to the error by the shortstop Christian Guzman. 1 out, second and third, 1-0 Dodgers. Only in the second inning, and the fastball is outside, ball 1, 1-0. So Clayton with a chance to help his own cause. Dodgers are averaging about 6.5 runs per game at home. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Cabrera comes back, and it's swung on and popped in foul ground. Zimmerman is right there to put it away. So Kershaw makes contact but fouls out, and the batter will be Rafael Furcal.
Shortstop number 15. Rafael
Dodgers
Furcal.
left 1 in the first inning. If you joined us late, Dodgers had the bases loaded and nobody out in the first inning. Andre Ethier grounded into a double play with a run scoring, and then Loney struck out. So 1-0 Dodgers. Second and third, 2 out, and here is Rafael. Slap bunt single just to the left of the mound in the first inning, and he came around to score. Furcal did not reach base last night. The pitch to Rafael in for a strike, 0-1. So he has reached in 24 of the games in which he has played, and Furcal reaching tonight. So he's been in 26 games, and he's reached in 25 of the 26. 0-1 the count. 1-0 Dodgers, second inning. Strike 1 pitch coming up to Rafael Furcal at his feet. Another nice save by Jesus Flores. Seeing that wind blow from left to right, and you wonder about the dreaded sundowner. That's what they call that wind up in Santa Barbara. And we hope and pray that the sundowner, which is expected tonight, will not arrive and influence that big fire. But boy, it has certainly picked up here, blowing out to right field. The 1-1 pitch on the way, inside, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Orlando Hudson, who doubled, on deck. Daniel Cabrera, 27 years old. He'll be 28 at the end of the month. Now big man straightens up, high set up around the face, back with a fastball outside, though he's gone 3-1 to Rafael Furcal. When Cabrera had joined Baltimore, He weighed like 160 pounds. And when they sent him to the academy, they didn't have a bed big enough for him to sleep in. 3-1 pitch, and Rafael, it's a ground ball to Guzman. The shortstop cranks it up and throws him out. So the Dodgers, no runs ahead, leaving 2, and at the end of 2, Dodgers 1, Nationals nothing. One to nothing Dodgers in the third. Christian Guzman will start it off. You might have wondered what became of Marquise Grissom. Remember Marquise, who played with the Dodgers in 01 and 02? Well, he's the first base coach of the Washington Nationals. Big bouncer, just fair, inside third, down the line into the left field corner. And Guzman, who singled in the first inning, bounces one for a double to open up matters in the third. So the shortstop is 2 for 2. He just beat that thing down and it kangarooed over the head of Casey Blake. So it must be pretty hard down there for that ball to bounce like that. So Christian Guzman comes up with the third hit allowed by Clayton Kershaw. There's Marquise Grissom. He is 42 years old. Lives in Georgia, always has. Played with the Dodgers in 01 and 02. Quite a popular guy here. Hit as high as 277. And a wonderful man to have on the ball club. He had some sock too as Johnson takes a strike. Marquise had 21 home runs and then 17. And it's nice to see him back. Good man. So is Nick Johnson, who struck out in the first inning. The nephew of Larry Bowa. The strike one pitch on the way, and Johnson swings, pulls it on the ground. Hudson out on the grass, up with it and throws him out. And on the play, Guzman takes third. So with the Dodgers leading 1-0 and 1 out in the third, the Nationals have the tying run 90 feet away. So Johnson moves his man over, and now here is the man, Ryan Zimmerman. Single to left in the first inning. He is hit safely in 24 in a row. Ryan Zimmerman and his brother grew up in a hurry. His mom had multiple sclerosis, had been confined to a wheelchair. So the young boys really had to do a lot of work. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. Zimmerman Stands 6'3", 215. He's only 24, and he first came up in 2006 after a brief exposure in 05. 1-0 pitch on the way, and the right-hand hitter looks, and that's low. Ball 2, 2-0. Zimmerman with a very good eye. Ryan with 5 home runs. Coming down the line from third is Christian Guzman. Now the 2-0 pitch, and that's a strike, and the count 2-1. The Nationals and Zimmerman avoided arbitration. They agreed to a nice contract for Ryan, and he's quite a player. The 2-1 pitch, and he lifts it foul off first, out of play. Ryan, among other things, will probably win a Gold Glove at third base. Last year, he hit .333 against left-handers, .259 against right-handers. He's had problems. He broke the hamate bone in his left wrist. He hurt his left shoulder, had a slightly torn labrum in that left shoulder last year. Lifts one into right field, and remember, the wind is blowing that way, so Ethier keeps going near the foul line. Guzman tags, and he will score easily. So Ryan Zimmerman, a scoring fly ball to right field. Guzman carries it in, and we're in the third inning, 2 down in a 1-1 tie. For Zimmerman, that would be his 20th run batted in. So 1-1, and the batter is big Adam Dunn. So Dunn checking in at the plate. Kershaw into the windup, delivers, and the pitch is low, ball 1. Dunn struck out in the first inning. Of course, he strikes out a lot. As many as we said as 195 times. The 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike, 1-1. One of the things about Adam Dunn, he punches the clock. I mean, going back to 04, 161 games. The next year 160. The next year 160. The next year 152. So he works the 1-1 pitch, and Adam takes off the plate. Ball 2, 2-1. He was 21 years old, was Dunn, when he made the All-Star squad. So Clayton Kershaw at 21 confronts him now. The 2-1 pitch to Adam. Clayton deals. Fastball lined into center for a base hit. That was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, but Dunn, as the players say, was sitting on it and singles to center. So that'll bring up Elijah Dukes. 1 run and 4 hits now for the Nationals. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. When the Washington Senators were alive and well in the American League, there was always the expression, first in war, first in peace, and last in the American League. Well, for the Washington Nationals, they've changed their last name from the Montreal Expos. Manny Acta's ball club is last in the National League East, so the memories continue. 0-1 the count. Now the strike 1 pitch on the way is low. Manny Acta, who is the manager of the Nationals, figured to be a manager ever since he was 8 years old. Most of the kids in the Dominican where he grew up were very poor, but his father had a pretty decent job. He had the only catcher's mitt in the neighborhood. The 1-1 pitch is taken low, ball 2. Well, having the only catcher's mitt, first of all, you can't have a game without a catcher, and you can't have a catcher without a mitt. So immediately he would organize things even when he was a little kid because he had a catcher's mitt. So as he laughs to Jim Riggleman in a 1-1 tie, and if you're Manny Acta, you have to keep your sense of humor. Born to be a skipper because of a mitt. 2-1 the count. Elijah Dukes hitting .309. Out of a stretch goes Clayton Kershaw, looks over at first. 2-1 pitch is inside on a check swing. Ball 3. So Kershaw made 45 pitches in the first 2 innings, laboring a little bit, and a lot of 3-ball counts as he tries to establish his fastball, but it's getting him into a hole. Another 3-1 pitch, fastball, foul back, 3-2 the count to Elijah Dukes. Dukes walked in the first inning. Dukes 11 walks, 22 strikeouts. A 5-tool player. Full count. They're not holding Dunn. The big man will be gone. Kershaw delivers, fastball lifted into right center. The wind will bring that thing over to Andre Ethier, and that's that. However, Guzman doubles, Zimmerman scoring fly ball, and at the end of 2.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. Bottom of the third, 1-1 tie. Guzman 2 for 2 has committed an error, but he's also scored a run. And now with a 1-1, it'll be Hudson, Ramirez, and Ethier. Bottom of the third inning, and Cabrera ready. Daniel deals low, ball 1. With the Dodgers trying to break the record, there's been a lot of talk about the Detroit Tigers in 1911. And 1911 was kind of a stick-out year for a lot of reasons, as Hudson takes high, ball 2. Among other things, they launched the Titanic in 1911. And the President of the United States was William Howard Taft. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and Hudson takes a strike, 2-1. Well, it was Taft who launched the tradition of the presidential first pitch on opening day. The President Taft threw that opening day pitch to Walter Johnson. 2-1 pitch as a ball hit up the middle. In front of it is Ronnie Belliard to take care of Hudson, and we have 1 down with Manny coming up. They also say that it was William Howard Taft who started the 7th inning stretch. They say it was quite by accident. The Senators and the Athletics were playing a long, tough game, and William Howard Taft was a heavy 6'2" man who grew more and more uncomfortable sitting in a small wooden chair, and by the middle of the 7th inning he couldn't bear it any longer, and he stood up to stretch. Well, if the president stands up, everybody up. Manny takes outside, ball 1. Everybody thought, well, when the president is standing, he's going to leave, and we would rise to show respect. Well, a couple of minutes later, Taft sat back down. Crowd followed suit, and that was the birth of the 7th inning stretch. Meanwhile, Manny, a towering foul ball behind the plate. Coming over to watch it go into the seats is Jesus Flores. So with 1 out in the third, a 1-1 tie, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Manny. Another thing about the Detroit Tigers, who won 12-0 at home, they eventually came in second, and I mean they were buried in second place. The Philadelphia Athletics were like 13 and a half games in front of them when the season ended. So 12-0 didn't mean very much to Detroit in 1911. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming up to Manny. Swung on, ground ball to short. Guzman waits for the hop, plenty of time, and takes care of Ramirez. You know, you have a funny feeling because baseball is such an unbelievable game. But watch though, what team will snap the Dodgers streak? The least likely team is the team that's on the field right now. After all, the Dodgers have beaten them 9 straight here at Dodger Stadium. The Nationals have only won 7 games this year, and yet it's baseball. And with 2 out, here's Andre Ethier. Fastball lifted to left center field with Dukes and Dunn, the D-men, and it will be Adam Dunn one-handing it. So that's that. Dodgers go very quietly, and at the end of 3, Nationals 1, Dodgers 1. Angeles, 84 degrees when the game started, and a good ball game. 1-1, 4th inning, and Austin Kearns will start it off. Ball 1. 1 run, 4 hits for the Nats. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Two 2-0 to Austin. Kearns hitting .258. 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in. He had a stress fracture in his left foot last year. That finished him for the year. He's had a lot of problems. We told you earlier he was beamed here by Giovanni Carrara. He had his arm broken, hit by a pitch by Ryan Vogelflin. He had orthopedic surgery on his right elbow, and then the fractured left foot. 3-1. Kershaw has had a bunch of 3-ball counts already. He struck out 5 in the first 2 innings, but did not strike out anybody in the third. 3-1. And ball 4. So Clayton is struggling and fighting it a little bit. We have our Aflac trivia question for the night. Just a chance for you to think about the Dodgers and home victories. They're 12-0 now, as you know. What is the LA Dodgers record for home wins in a season? Most successful home season in Los Angeles Dodgers history. Well, we'll give you the answer in a while. Here's Belliard, struck out in the second inning. Big breaking ball, but it stayed up. 1 ball and no strikes. Belliard is a distant cousin. You may remember the name Rafael Belliard, who played for the Atlanta Braves. And a Dodger connection in the sense that Rafael, when he was playing for the Brewers, his manager was Davey Lopes. Meanwhile, Rick Honeycutt trying to help out Clayton Kershaw, and you can see the pitch count now, too many. 69 pitches in 3 innings plus. So Clayton has had too many. He's had 5 3-ball counts. He has walked 2 and struck out 5, and he's locked in 1-1 in the 4th inning. So Belliard waiting, 1 ball and no strikes. And a strike, 1-1. Belliard a couple of years ago, and he certainly doesn't look like that player now, but back in '06, he wore his hair in braids. Said he hadn't had a haircut in over 3 years. Fastball, and he lost the bat out of his hand. He was swinging so hard. 1-2. Belliard had 11 home runs last year. He had 11 home runs the year before. He's hit as many as 17. He's got good bat speed, without a doubt. 1-2. Fastball hit to the hole, backhanded by Furcal. They get 1 to first, not in time. So the force plays 6-4. Belliard really moving down the line on a hard hit ground ball. Nice pick by Furcal. The turn by Orlando, and Belliard beats it by a hair. Take another look at Kearns playing hard, legitimate takeout, and he pulled Orlando down after the throw. So Hudson has been knocked down by the best of them, taken out by Austin Kearns, and the hitter now is Jesus Flores, with Belliard at first. Belliard last year stole 3 bases, and that's ball 1. Belliard so far does not have a stolen base, and with the number 8 hitter, it doesn't figure he'll do any running. Jesus Flores last year hit .256, hitting .289. Dodgers 1, Nationals 1. 4th inning, 1 out. Belliard at first. Took a lot off that, and Flores way out in front of the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. Last year, Flores hit very well against left-handers. He hit .308. And a curveball, but that's low. 2-1 the count. Kershaw has allowed 1 run, 4 hits. He has walked 2, and he has struck out 5. His last strikeout was the pitcher Cabrera in the 2nd inning. 2-1. There goes the runner on a fly ball to left field. Under it there is Manny, so back to first goes Belliard. And Flores, just like Belliard, swung, broke his bat, and goes back into the dugout. So 2 out, and Daniel Cabrera coming up. So a broken bat fly ball, and big Cabrera 0 for 1. Cabrera is 0 for 8, and he has struck out 6 of the 8 times. Still a menacing looking hitter. Fastball, ball 1. Kershaw not quite the control that he wants with that fastball. Now the 1-0 pitch. In his last game, when he was up against Jake Peavy, and Clayton could not afford to make a mistake in any way, shape, or form, and he didn't. He went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 3, and in 7 innings made 99 pitches. 2-0. And a strike. Well, he made 63 pitches in the first 3 innings tonight. So he's fighting it a little bit. 2-1 the count to Cabrera. Fouled away. 2-2. Loney holding a corner on Belliard. 2 out. 1-1 tie, 4th inning. Fastball is low, so there's another 3-ball count. He's had at least a half a dozen. Last thing he wants to do is walk the pitcher, and especially someone who has such a large strike zone. Runner goes, and it's ball 4. The Kershaw has walked 3, and now Christian Guzman, who has singled and doubled, scored a run, coming up. Dodgers had the bases loaded and nobody out in the first inning, and they were lucky to get one. Ethier hit into a double play. Loney struck out. Then in the second inning, Dodgers had a base hit by Martin, and Guzman committed an error on Kemp. And with first and second and nobody out, the Dodgers came up empty. So Guzman takes ball 1. August of last year, against the Dodgers, Guzman became the first Washington, D.C. based big leaguer to hit for the cycle. He had a home run, then a single, a double, and a triple in Washington. The 1-0 pitch is high. Ball 2, 2-0. So Orlando Hudson and Russell Martin just trying to break the mood. Not much they can say to the pitcher. I mean, what are you going to say? Throw strikes? I remember Orlando Hudson giving him a pep talk the other night when James McDonald had such a bad night, and I could read Orlando Hudson's lips. He came to the mound. McDonald was really upset. He had the glove over his face, and Hudson must have said to him 5 times, "You the man. You are the man." Just trying to pump him up. We'll see about Kershaw. The 2-0 pitch. Big bouncer. Foul ball. So Blake brings it to the bag, but it won't count. Belliard and Cabrera going back to the positions. Guzman back up, checking the bat. Christian hitting .400 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Roller down to Furcal, the shovel to Hudson, and that's it. No runs, no hits, 2 left at the end of 3.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. 1-1 tie. Taking in the game, Kim, Courtney, and Khloe Kardashian. Khloe, along with mother Kris Jenner, they were involved in the ceremonial first pitch tonight. As we go to the bottom of the fourth in a 1-1 tie, James Loney, Russell Martin, and then Matt Kemp. Loney struck out in the first inning. The Dodgers have left 3, and the Nationals have left 6. So Cabrera ready to work on Loney. Fouled away. You know, the more you dig into the background of Daniel Cabrera, the more amazing it really is. Strike one pitch, fouled away. In other words, he signed with the Baltimore Orioles less than 2 years after he threw a baseball for the first time. He had never pitched in a legitimate baseball game before they signed him. So the scouts really saw something. And that stroked into right center, base hit. So Loney, a leadoff single in the fourth inning in this 1-1 tie. And the batter will be Russell Martin.
Catcher number 55, Russell Martin.
Loney, nice easy swing. Just going down to get the breaking ball. Then rolling that top hand and releasing. So a single by James, and here's Martin. He singled to center in the second inning on a 3-1 pitch. 1-1, bottom of the fourth. And ball one. Talking earlier about 1911, William Howard Taft, and especially the Detroit Tigers. On that Tiger club, among others, Wahoo Sam Crawford and Ty Cobb. And during that streak, I think Cobb stole home at least twice. A broken bat, a little flare. Belliard feeding Guzman, and they turn it into a double play. 4-6-3 and a busted bat. Nice play by Belliard. Quick flip. And then Guzman, strong enough, he didn't need to take a step. While his right foot was anchored on the bag, he gets rid of it to first, like that. So 2 down. And the batter will be Matt Kemp, who reached on the error in the second inning. So Belliard a good play, Guzman a good throw, 2 away. Ball 1 to Matt. Kemp has been a standout during the homestand with the glove, not so much with the bat. 3 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Ball 2. Last 5 games plus tonight, Matt is 2 for 18. And for 2 weeks now, he's hitting about 174. Remember when he had that 14-game hitting streak? Well, ball clubs can turn just as cold as individual hitters. That's for darn sure. 2-1 to Matt. Each side, 1 run, 4 hits. And a 3-1 count. Cabrera has walked 1. And he has struck out 1. And that's going to be a trap. Nice play. Backhanded by Guzman just before it hit the ground. So a good defensive play behind Cabrera. The Dodgers go out, and at the end of 4, a 1-1 tie. Dodger record for home wins in a season. So far, they've won 12.
Affleck.
55 in 1980. And as they say on Broadway, how'd you come out? Not so good. By the way, with those 55 wins, it's ironic the Dodgers lost at home in home game number 82. It was a one-game playoff, and they lost to Joe Niekro and the Houston Astros. Yep. How'd you come out? Cabrera made only 10 pitches in the fourth inning, so he's breezing. We talked about Kershaw and the 3 ball counts. He is 1-1 on Nick Johnson, who struck out and grounded out. Nick hitting .326. Good hitter with a very quick bat. 1-2. Clayton Kershaw has 7 3-ball counts, and he walked the pitcher Cabrera, who was 0 for 22 in his career with 20 strikeouts. Wait till Clayton hears about that. 1-2. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Clayton now 90 pitches, and we're only in the 5th inning. And he's got another 3-ball count, so that's 8. One run, 4 hits for each side. 1 error by Christian Guzman of Washington. Fastball is popped in the air on the left side. Casey Blake in foul ground. 1 away. Well, Kershaw went 7 without a decision against Peavy. He's into the 5th inning, 1-1 against Cabrera. And here is Ryan Zimmerman, single to left in the 1st inning, so he has hit safely in 24 straight. And then last time up had a scoring fly ball to right field to tie up the game 1-1. Remember, Kershaw's ERA at Dodger Stadium is 2.8. There's another broken bat. Ground ball to Orlando Hudson. So a lot of kindling so far into the 5th inning. Yeah, no kindling.
44, Adam Dunn.
And Adam Dunn coming up. So Zimmerman, as his bat comes apart, he hit it right off the end of the bat. Look at that. It split it right on down to the handle. So it wasn't that he was jammed or anything at all. The batter just came unglued. And he's checking it to see just what the heck happened. Once upon a time, you know, bats were laminated. In the early 50s, they would take 2 pieces of wood and somehow or other with excessive heat put the 2 pieces together. And then the hitters would say, my bat became unlaminated when it broke. Dodgers load up the right side on Adam Dunn, who has struck out and singled to center. 2-0 they count in a 1-1 tie. Blake way over, playing shortstop. 3-0 the count to Adam Dunn, and of course with his history of home runs, there is certainly nothing automatic that he's going to take 3-0. We shall see. Didn't like the location, not a pitch he could drive, so he took it. 3-1. He's out of Porter, Texas. The Dunns have lived there for over 40 years. And Porter's main street is Dunn Lane. That's a strike. It's a blackstop strip that leads to 9 houses, all of which are occupied by relatives of Adam. Dunn's Lane. He eventually moved. He's in Montgomery, Texas now. Hard ground ball. Loney is on it. It's a race to the bag. The winner is Kershaw. So down go the Nationals, and at the end at 4.5, a 1-1 tie. Oh. Bottom of the 5th inning, a 1-1 tie, and Casey Blake, ball 1. Casey out on a nice play by Rafael Belliard in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. Ground ball to short, nice hop for Guzman, bad throw, and it gets away from Johnson, backed up by Flores. Routine play. And Guzman just released that ball, and it was a bad throw as soon as he let go of it. And Guzman looks out towards center field as if to say, who was that guy who made the error? See how he dropped sidearm? When you throw the ball like that, the chances are you're going to throw a sinker. See how he just flicks and sidearms the throw? Most really good shortstops throw over the top. See this throw, and then watch for call. And Johnson just unable to handle a hopper in front of him. So Guzman's 2nd error tonight. Kershaw bunts. It is a fair ball, and they get a force play, and that's it. So a nice quick play by Jesus Flores to nail Blake. And Kershaw will have to run the bases. So 1 away, and Rafael Furcal slapped a bunt by the left of the mound for a base hit, came around to score, and grounded out in the 2nd inning. Big Daniel Cabrera is doing very well. For a guy who came in here 0-2 with everything out of sync. He made 52 pitches coming into the inning, and he's had 8 ground balls. And what is really a surprise, he's only walked 1. He walked Ramirez in the 1st inning. He's gotten the Dodgers to ground into 2 double plays, and he's survived 2 errors by his shortstop. 1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball into right field. Kershaw will stop at second. Go for call. A single to right. The O-Dog coming up, and boy, last night his glove was truly remarkable. Orlando saving the Dodgers twice. In the 1st inning last night on a ball hit by Mark Reynolds, he really went too far, and when he got way out there, he made that catch. And then later on in the 4th inning, a diving catch for the out to prevent another run. So he saved at least 2 runs last night, and the Dodgers won by 2, 3-1. Hudson with the bat has doubled and grounded out, and that's ball one. One out, fifth inning, a 1-1 tie. Dodgers 1 run, 5 hits. The Nationals 1 run, 4 hits and 2 errors. One 0 and missed inside, ball 2. By the way, Christian Guzman coming into this game had only made 1 error, and he has made twice as many tonight. 2-0 to Hudson, and Manny on deck. And ball 3. Though certainly a moment of truth for Daniel Cabrera. Three-0. A strike, 3-1. Well, you have 1 out and 2 on. If you're Joe Torre, do you let Hudson swing away, or do you wait 3-2 with Manny waiting? Hudson is hitting .336. Runners do not move, and it's ball 4. So Manny will be coming up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Ramirez walked in the first inning and grounded to short in the third. And you're thinking slam? Well, Manny has 20 grand slams. The last one he hit 4 years ago in July at Texas. So he's 3 behind the great Lou Gehrig. Meeting at the mound, lots of talk, and it's the manager, not the pitching coach, Randy St. Clair. Manny Acta going out. There is a connection too between Manny Acta and Daniel Cabrera. They are both from San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican. So one Dominican facing another. You old enough to remember Joaquin Andujar of Houston, who always referred to himself as one tough Dominican. High foul ball. Johnson and Belliard. It will be neither one, and it drops fair, but they throw to the plate. Would you believe they get a force? Kershaw is out. Belliard and Johnson, and they were in foul ground, and the ball suddenly came back. One reason, the breeze is blowing from right to left. Kershaw, of course, had nowhere to go, and alertly Belliard threw to the plate as the ball suddenly came back fair, and without thinking, wonderful play, heads up play by a veteran second baseman, Ronnie Belliard. Though it turns out to be a force play, 4-2. Hudson is now at second. Furcal is at third. Andre Ethier came up with the bases loaded in the first inning as Honeycutt patting Clayton Kershaw, who needs a breather. And a strike. Ethier grounded into a double play in the first inning, fly to left in the third. Andre batting .320. Half a dozen home runs, 26 runs batted in. So they're out there for Cole, Hudson, and Ramirez. You think it was odd to see Belliard get a force play at the plate. Do you know that one of the 7 wild pitches by Daniel Cabrera, the wild pitch was retrieved by the Washington first baseman, Nick Johnson? When have you ever seen that before? Tell you why. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2. In Washington, the backstop is of stone. And when the wild pitch hit the stone, it kicked off wildly towards first base. And Johnson fielded it as the runner advanced. 1-2 the count to Andre Ethier. 2-2. Dodgers had the bases loaded and nobody out in the first inning and were fortunate to get one. They had first and second with nobody out in the second and got nothing. And they've now worked to where the bases are loaded twice in this inning, and they're still looking for a run. 2-2. And ball 3. So Cabrera, as he usually does, fighting his control. Crowd coming alive. A lot of folks on their feet now. 1-1 fifth inning. For Call, Hudson, and Ramirez. And the 3-2 pitch. Runners will go. Ball 4. So Ethier picks up his 27th run batted in. And Cabrera, who looked like he might get off the hook, walks in the run. So Rafael Furcal scores twice, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. So James Loney will be coming up as Furcal gets 5s in the dugout. Dodgers lead 2-1. Loney has struck out and singled to right. The Dodgers are playing another one-run game. They've played 9 of them. They've won 6 of the 9, all 4 of the one-run games here. Little ground ball. That's going to be trouble. Zimmerman has to make the throw and got him on a bang-bang play at first. Big play by Ryan Zimmerman. So the Dodgers settle for 1. And at the end of 5, lead the Nationals 2-1. In 1995, the Dodgers were in Colorado. Look out. There were 21 hits in the game. The Dodgers had 8 extra base hits. Eric Karras and Mike Piazza each enjoyed a big day, and the Dodgers won 17-11. Wasn't a laugher. The Dodgers wound up winning that year. Colorado, 1 game back, won the wild card. Let's go back to this one. Clayton Kershaw, who worked hard, made 90 pitches, ran the bases, and was eventually forced at home plate. He wound up making a total of 99 pitches. The one consolation for him, he goes out as the pitcher of record, leading 2-1. And now James McDonald picking up He'll face Elijah Dukes, Austin Kearns, and Rafael Belliard. And there's a drive foul down the line. 0-1 to Dukes. Elijah hitting .305. 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in. One ball, one strike. James trying to restore his confidence if it was shaken. It appeared to be the last time he pitched. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. You may remember McDonald pitched against the Padres and just had a very rough night. An inning and 2/3, 4 walks, 2 hits, 3 runs. They had to come and get him. So young James back in there, and he's 2-2 to Elijah Dukes. And another broken bat and a fly ball to center. Imagine if the bat didn't break, how far he would have hit it. So we have 1 out in the 6th inning. As Kershaw becomes a spectator, we can check his strikeouts. Started in the 1st inning against the left-hand hitting first baseman Nick Johnson. Blew him away. Came right back to get Adam Dunn, and for good measure nailed Kearns to strike out the side. Then a curveball got Ronnie Belliard. Fastball at the knees to get Cabrera. 5 Ks, but he's now gone. And that's popped up. It will be Orlando. So quickly, 2 out in the 6th inning, and Ronnie Belliard coming up.
Second baseman, Ronnie Belliard.
So McDonald is trying to reverse the process. Clayton Kershaw pitched well, but he had 8 3-ball counts. So young James trying to get him earlier in the count. Belliard struck out, hit into a force play, and made a very good heads-up play on that pop fly that wound up dropping into right field off the batter for a call. And Belliard converted it without a moment's hesitation and got a force play at the plate. 1-1 to Ronnie. Game 2 of the brief series tomorrow night. Randy Wolf and Jordan Zimmerman. 1-2. And then the weekend, it will be the Giants. Barry Zito against Chad Billingsley Friday night. 1-2. Foul back. Foul that one away. Belliard is working on the final year of a brief 2-game contract with the Nationals, 08 and 09. Spray hitter, and has only struck out 6 times, walking once. 2-2. Belliard's good hitter. His career batting average is .275. And down he goes. So James McDonald, who struggled mightily against the Padres, blows down the Nationals, and at the end of 5.5, it's 2-1 Dodgers. Ryan Zimmerman hits it right at the end of the bat, and look at that. It split right down the middle like you were cutting a banana lengthwise. Freeze Cab coming up with a remarkable shot. Zimmerman, who made a couple of good plays defensively, made a good one on Loney to end that fifth inning. So bottom of the sixth, 2-1 Dodgers. Russell Martin, who broke his bat, then Matt Kemp and Casey Blake. Martin has singled to center, grounded into a double play. Hitting .228. Foul back. Cabrera is pitching very well. He was averaging just under 5 innings a start, and tonight he's into the sixth. Oh, 0-1. And that's going to be hit to the gap right center. Dukes over to cut it off. Martin will hold. Big overhand curveball, and Martin, as the player said, just waited on it and then hit it to right center. So the leadoff single, Russell is 2 for 3, and the batter is Matt Kemp. Kemp reached on an error by Guzman and then hit a little looping soft line drive, and it was backhanded by Guzman just before it hit the ground. So Matt is 0 for 2, hitting .283, and laboring now. He is 2 for his last 19. Center. Dukes at the other end of it. One away. And the batter will be Casey Blake, followed by McDonald. Down in the Dodger bullpen, the ever-present Ronald Belisario will begin to tune up. He pitched the 8th inning last night. He pitched the 6th inning the night before. Juan Pierre is going to come out on deck. He would bat for McDonald. So Martin, with the Dodgers leading 2-1, they have 6 hits against Cabrera. Martin is 2 for 4 in stolen bases. Ball 1. For Cabrera, this could be his last inning one way or the other. He's due to bat second when Washington comes up in the 7th, and Logan Kensing is also throwing back of him right now. One ball and no strike. Fastball up and Blake after it. 1-1 to Casey. Casey robbed of a hit. A nice play by Belliard, and reached on the error by Guzman. One and one. And that's hit down the line, foul, out of play. 1-2. Dodgers scored a run in the first inning. Washington came back with a run in the third. The Dodgers broke the tie in the bottom of the 5th. And now here we are with 1 out, 1-2 to Blake. Breaking ball fouled away. In looking back through his 6 innings of pitching, Guzman has been pitching a very dangerous game, in the sense 5 of the 6 leadoff men have gotten on base. The only leadoff man who failed to reach in the 3rd inning, Orlando Hudson, grounded out. 2-2. So actually, Cabrera has been pitching from the stretch all night, with the exception of the 3rd inning. And all things considered, he's pitched very well. 2-2. Now he goes 3-2. He walked 2 in the 5th inning and walked 1 in the 1st inning, so he's had 3 walks. He has only one strikeout. He got Loney in the first inning. 3-2. So we'll watch Martin. And he goes, and it's ball 4. They throw down, but it's unnecessary. And the Dodgers have runners at first and second. And now Juan Pierre is being called back. You know, you can celebrate with members of the 1959 championship team tomorrow night. The Dodgers honor the 50th anniversary of their first World Series title in Los Angeles. The first 30,000 fans in attendance receive a 1959 retro radio, compliments of 790 KABC. So you can buy tickets now at Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS today. Well, they call Juan Pierre back, so he's not been in the game. And Mark Loretta will come up and bat for James McDonald. So Loretta, who has been so successful coming off the bench, he is 7 for 12 with 2 runs batted in. He finds first and second, 1 away, 6th inning, 2-1 Dodgers. We told you the Dodgers have been pretty successful in 1-run games, and especially at home. Washington has been in 7 1-run games, and they've lost 5 of the 7. Fastball strike. 0-1. Loretta checking with Larry Boa. Martin at second. Kemp at first. 1 out. Excuse me. Blake at first. Kemp made the out. 0-1. In the dirt, Flores on his knees to block it. 1-1. Daniel Cabrera, 0-2 for the year, but giving the Dodgers a tough time. 1 strikeout, 4 walks. Time. He wants to talk to Flores. Jordan Zimmerman and Randy Wolf tomorrow night. So Flores has carried his message out. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on, and the Dodgers lead by 1, 2-1. And the fastball almost went to the backstop. Ball 2, 2-1. Waiting on deck, Rafael for call. Two balls, 1 strike. And ball 3. So Kensing continues to heat up in the bullpen. And Cabrera getting deeper and deeper into trouble. And Kensing is now joined by left-hander Mike Hinckley. You have Rafael Furcal, a switch hitter, on deck. Probably want to turn Rafael around to hit right-handed. 3-1 to count. 2 on, 1 out. And ball 4. The Cabrera now has gone a bit wild, and that's been his problem. And the Dodgers have loaded the bases. 5 walks given up by Cabrera. Here comes Manny, and it looks like a double switch because he immediately called the plate umpire, Darrell Cousins, over. So Cabrera will come out. The last out was made by Belliard. Willie Harris is going to come out. So it looks like Belliard will leave. That way Harris will bat ninth, and the pitcher coming in will go into Belliard's spot. We would guess it'll be a left-hander to turn for call around. We'll find out, but in the meantime, we'll be back. And like Clayton Kershaw, had 8 3-ball counts. The only difference, a big difference, Kershaw walked 3 and Cabrera walked 5 and had to come out. And as we kind of surmised, trying to think along with Manny Acta, he would bring in the left-hander, Mike Hinckley, to turn Rafael Furcal around. Furcal 2 singles and a ground ball, and Hinckley out of Oklahoma. Born in Oklahoma City, lives in Moore, Oklahoma. Became a 3rd-round pick by the Expos, rising from obscurity in his senior year in high school. He's 6'3", 175, and the Dodgers with the bases loaded, 1 out, and here is Furcal. The infield's back. Ball 1. Rafael, a bunt single. He slapped it by the mound, grounded to short, single to right. So Martin is at 3rd, Blake is at 2nd, and having just walked, Loretta at 1st. Line drive, base hit into left field. In comes Martin. They will hold Blake, who fell down as he rounded 3rd. So the bases remain loaded, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. So they turn Furcal around, bring in a left-hander to do it, and all that Manny does as a base hit to left field. It is 3-1 Dodgers, and for Furcal, his 3rd hit of the night. The Rafael, a clean single to left. Everybody moves up 90. So now you have Blake at 3rd. Loretta at 2nd, Furcal at 1st with 1 out, and the batter will be Orlando Hudson, and he'll turn around to hit right-handed. Orlando is 1 for 2, is double, walked, and grounded out. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits for the Nationals. If you wonder about grand slams, Orlando has one. A couple of years ago, he hit it against the Cubs and Mark Pryor. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Hinckley gives up the hit. The run is charged to Cabrera. 1-1. Fastball low, ball 2. The Washington bullpen has been okay until they get late in the game. Then they have given up several. Of late, the bullpen has done fairly well. 2-1 to count. that's low. Ball 3. So Hinckley has had 4 holes, and on deck, Manny Ramirez. Hinckley came in with an earned run average of 2. 3-1. 3-2. So for call, Loretta and Blake all out on the lines. Three and 2 with 1 out. Wow. Not only ball 4, but I mean it almost left the room. So Hudson draws the walk. He gets a run batted in. Percall goes to second. Loretta to third. Blake carries the run in. Dodgers lead 4-1. And for Hinckley, he's not only upset, he's embarrassed on that pitch. A long, slow walk by Manny Acta with the bases loaded and 1 out. And Manny Ramirez coming up. Hinckley leaves. Logan Kensing will be coming in, and we'll be back. Up a single to Percall and then walked Hudson, and the 2 runs in the inning belong to Daniel Cabrera. So now they try their luck with right-hander Logan Kensing, and Kensing is facing Manny Ramirez with the bases loaded. Nice spot. Kensing out of San Antonio, lives in Texas, went to Texas A&M. 25 years old, 6'1", 185. He was originally signed by the Marlins. Among other things, Kensing with a very good slider and a splitter, plus the fastball and changeup. Manny has walked, grounded out, then with the bases loaded, hit that pop fly inside the right field foul line, and when it dropped, Belliard made the heads-up play through to the plate and got a force on Kershaw. Hello, little one. And in the dirt, ball 1. Kensing, a little more than 2 years ago, had Tommy John surgery. They say that when Kensing is on his game, he gets a lot of ground balls, maybe because of the splitter. Well, Logan Kensing coming from the Marlins to Washington, and here's Manny with the bases jammed. Ramirez hitting .341. 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Loretta at third, for Call at second, Hudson at first. And a high twisting foul down the right field line. This one will drop untouched. 1-1. The walk to Orlando Hudson that forced in a run. The Dodgers already in this young year have 7 bases loaded walks. And of course, perhaps the more famous one so far was the check swing for ball 4 the other night with Russell Martin at the plate. So Manny with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Dodgers 4, Nationals 1. Bottom of the 6th. Fastball hit down the right field line in the corner. Fair ball. In comes Loretta. In comes Furcal, and the Dodgers lead 6-1. As Manny doubles in a couple. So Furcal is charged to Hinckley. And Manny gets a ball away and down and just hits it inside out into the right field corner. So now the batter is Andre Ethier. Though it is a 4-run 6th inning. And Ethier will get the intentional walk to load the bases again. And James Loney will be the 9th man to come up. So 4 runs charged to Cabrera, 2 runs charged to Hinckley, and now Kensing is on his own. And for Manny Acta, maybe thinking about those days as a kid with the only catcher's mitt in the neighborhood. Here comes ball 4. Ethier had hit into a double play, fly to left, walk, so he walks for a second time.
Dodger first baseman.
So now it's Loney, who struck out, single to right and grounded out. Orlando Hudson at third, Manny is at second, and Ethier is at first, and Loney at the plate. Dodgers averaging, as we said, 6.5 runs during this great stand at home as they try to make it 13-0 and break the all-time record formerly held by the Detroit Tigers. And ball 1. The Tigers, when they played in Bennett Park, played in virtual obscurity because Bennett Park seated a little more than 8,000. And when you realize the Dodgers already have played before over 500,000, I mean, the Tigers never saw that many. And ball 2. So Cabrera, then Hinckley and Kensing. And for Manny Acta, the familiar feeling of slip sliding away. 2-0 to James. Fastball fouled away. Upstairs off third. Hope you'll be with us tomorrow night. Brief 2-game series. Jordan Zimmerman, and he'll go up against the Dodgers' Randy Wolf. And then on the weekend, the Giants. 2 balls and 1 strike. And another foul ball, 2-2. Loney, the 9th man in the inning. Russell Martin on deck started the inning off with a base hit to center and eventually came around to score. James hitting .272 with 18 runs batted in. Hudson, Ramirez, and Ethier all out there with only one out. The out was the second batter. Matt Kemp flied to center after Martin's leadoff single. 2-2. Fastball hit to the hole, and by the diving Guzman, in comes Hudson. Here comes Ramirez. Safely into third goes Ethier, and the Dodgers now have had themselves a big inning, a 6-run inning to lead 8-1. And Maloney, a base hit and 2 runs batted in. So Russell Martin will be the 10th man to come up, as Dunn tried to get Ethier but just missed. So the Dodgers 8 runs on 9 hits, breezing 8-1 on their way to what would certainly appear to be a record-breaking game. And here's Martin, 2 for 3. And a chopper to Guzman. He goes to second for the second out, but scoring is Ethier, and it makes it a 7-run inning, and the Dodgers lead 9-1. So Martin hits into a force play, but gets himself a run batted in. So the batter now is Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp will be the 11th man to come up. He's 0 for 3. Matt reached on an error, popped up, flied to center, and a strike. So the bullpen that had shown encouraging signs for Washington was not the answer tonight. 0-1. Slider pulled down to third. They'll get the 4th play, and that's it. But it, in capital letters, is a 7-run inning for the Dodgers. The second time this year. They had 7 against Colorado back on the 19th of April. They lead 9-1. Dodgers haven't made number 13 yet, but they're leading 9-1. So add the 9 to the 78 they've already scored on the homestand. So the Dodgers have scored 87. The opposition only 30. And look at the batting average. The Dodgers 320 and the opposition 191. Dodgers have also hit 15 home runs during their run here at home to start off the year. For Manny, He doubled in a couple. The Dodgers score 7, and now it is Guillermo Mota who will pick up. So Kershaw went 5, McDonald went 1, and now Mota. One other thing, despite that high ERA for Guillermo Mota, the Dodgers staff, the entire pitching staff, they have 13 pitchers. The Dodgers staff's earned run average at home is 2.3. The big Guillermo ready. Flores, then Willie Harris, and Guzman. Ball 1. Flores, the catcher, has popped a short fly to left, 0 for 2. So the National came in here with only 7 wins, and they give up 7 runs in the 6th inning and would appear to be buried 9-1. So the Dodgers would be 9 outs away from breaking the record. Not breaking it, shattering it. Two balls and no strikes. For Guillermo, working now on Flores. Jesus batting .286 and hammers it. If it's fair, it's gone down the line and a foul. Flores has 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in. So tomorrow night, Randy Wolf will go to the hill, and he'll go up against Jordan Zimmerman. Jordan Zimmerman is 2-1 with an earned run average of 4. He has allowed 4 home runs so far, and we'll see him tomorrow evening. 2-2. And another drive, and this one might go. It should be fair. It's down the line and gone. So Flores just missed hitting one, and he hits the next one out. So Jesus, his 3rd home run of the year, and it is now 9-2 in favor of the Dodgers. Mota got it up, and Flores got it out. For Mota, that would be the first home run that he's allowed this year. And it was smoked right after the foul ball. Not much to cheer about down there, but they do go through the 5s. And here's Willie Harris. Willie getting into the game in the double switch, trying to make the most of when they were taking Cabrera out. 0-2 the count to Willie. Harris is out of Cairo, Georgia. Went to Kennesaw State University in Georgia and lifts the fly ball to Manning. 1 away. The Harris goes down. Christian Guzman coming up.
Shortstop, number 15, Christian Guzman.
Guzman singled and doubled. He's 2 for 3, but he's also committed 2 errors. 9 runs for the Dodgers. Just 2 runs for the Nats. That's a strike. 1-1. Dodgers scored 1 in the 1st. National scored 1 in the 3rd. And it was tough when the Dodgers broke the tie. Now Guzman drives one. Ethier, the ball's over his head, banging against the gate. Guzman into second, and they'll hold him there, down by 7. So the shortstop, Christian Guzman, goes 3 for 4. And the batter will be Nick Johnson. You know, Friday night fireworks here, and this Friday night it'll be set to the music of 1959 to honor the Dodgers' first championship in Los Angeles, and it'll be compliments of Dreyer's Grand Ice Cream. For tickets, call 866-DODGERS or visit Dodgers.com today. So Guzman a double, and Nick Johnson coming up. As we mentioned, he is the nephew of Larry Boa. Nick tonight has struck out, grounded out, fouled out, 0 for 3. Good hitter, batting .323. And ball 1. Mota picked up his second win in the 10th inning last Saturday against San Diego. He also won a game against Colorado. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Will Oman warms up. Off speed, breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. Little slider. Ryan Zimmerman is on deck, but the left-hand hitter he's getting ready for would be Adam Dunn. 1 ball, 1 strike. All the way to the backstop. It comes back to Martin, but no play. And Johnson just did get out of the way. So the wild pitch sends Guzman to third. And it was wild. Martin tried to turn the mitt properly and block it, but that thing just exploded. 2-1. For Guillermo, that would be his second wild pitch of the year. So over to third is Guzman with a couple of doubles and a single. That's a strike. 2-2. One out, 7th inning, 1 in. 9-2 Dodgers. And a hopper to short. Coming to the plate to score is Guzman as the out is recorded at first. And it's 9-3 in favor of the Dodgers. And the batter will be Ryan Zimmerman. So Johnson gets a run batted in. Guzman scores for the second time. Mota gives up 2. Kershaw gave up 1. McDonald pitched a perfect 6th. Ryan Zimmerman single to left to extend his hitting streak to 24. Then he had a scoring fly ball in the 3rd inning to tie up the game. Last time up in the 5th, he grounded out. Hard breaking ball for a strike. That slider of Mota's he throws up in the 80s. Dodgers are 20-8, trying to make it 21-8. You know what the 1911 Tigers were at the start? They were a phenomenal 21-2. They were in first place every day until August the 3rd. And then when they were 35 games above 500, the wheels came off. Detroit lost 20 of the next 30. They were 23-43. Went 20-10 in July, and they wound up, believe it or not, with all of that 12-0 start at home, they wound up 13.5 games behind the Philadelphia Athletics. So puts it in perspective, doesn't it? Hard foul ball, still 1-2. When they went with that incredible 21-2, they lost to the White Sox 3-2 and Cleveland 2-1. I mean, they almost won them all. It still didn't help. It only tells you one thing: it is a very long year. I think Mota thought he had strike 3. He had 95 with his fastball just off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jordan Zimmerman, the pitcher, no relation, will be on the mound tomorrow night against Randy Wolf. Got him. So Zimmerman goes 1 for 3 as he strikes out. 2 runs in the inning, and at the end of 6.5, Dodgers 9, Nationals 3, and the crowd will now join in the singing of God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the singing of God Bless America. Tonight we welcome back Rachel McGowan.
God bless America, land that I love.
Leading the bottom of the 7th, third baseman Casey Blake.
Nine to 3 Dodgers as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and it'll be Casey Blake to lead it off, then Guillermo Mota and Rafael Furcal. Logan Kensing picking up for Mike Hinckley, who picked up for the starter Daniel Cabrera. 9 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers, 3 runs, 6 hits for the Nationals. Tough ball game until the Dodgers broke it wide open in the 6th inning, sending 11 men to the plate. One and one. Ball 2. Blake grounded out. Good play by Belliard. Reached on an error and walked. Scored a run. Fastball strike. That evens things up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And ball 3. Kensing originally signed by the Marlins, and he came up 1 year after being signed. Went back down to the minors, came up again briefly, went back down, came up in 06, and went back down again. And he draws ball 4. So he's really been up and down, finally coming over to Washington and hoping that he'll be able to stick. Fastball, slider, splitter, and change. But he struggled and walks the leadoff man. And of course, that's really what happened to Daniel Cabrera. He was only able to get the leadoff man once for Cabrera in 6 innings of pitching. 5 of the 6, the Dodgers had the leadoff man get on, and you just can't get away with that. And it eventually caused him to leave. And then the bullpen was hammered for an additional 5. And the Dodgers lead 9-3 as Mota takes ball 1. Logan Kensing. Last year, left-handers hit 208, right-handers hit 259. And 2 years ago, 2.5, he had the Tommy John surgery. The bunt is down. Good one. Kensing has to go to his second baseman Harris covering. And on the sacrifice, Blake goes to second. So Casey talking to Guzman down there at second base as Mota moved him along. And now Rafael for a call. Under the heading of the best laid plans of mice and men, you can put the name Manny Acta. When it was still a game with the bases loaded, Manny brought in the left-hander to turn for a call around, make him bat right-handed, and Rafael single a left. And then the route was on. For a call back to hitting left-handed and pops it up. It will be Zimmerman. So 2 down here in the 7th inning, 9-3 Dodgers, and the batter will be Orlando Hudson with Casey Blake at second base. Hudson doubled, grounded out, walked, and eventually came around to score in the 6th inning. Orlando picking up the RBI when he walked. And that's a strike. 0-1. On deck, Juan Pierre. He'll take over for Manny Ramirez. And there's a base hit up the middle. So here comes Casey Blake to ride in easily. The Dodgers lead 10-3, and Orlando continues to wear them out, especially here at Dodger Stadium. Seems like every time you look up, Hudson has a base hit. He has hit safely in 8 straight, so he's picked up a few points. In each of the 12 games at Dodger Stadium, Orlando has hit safely in all of them, 13. Hitting better than .447, and with 2 walks tonight, he's had 10 walks and about a .550 on base percentage, to say the least. Pierre, a fly ball, slicing fouls out of play. So Orlando Hudson has certainly had himself a tremendous 13 games here at Dodger Stadium. Pierre, remember, was out on deck in the 6th inning. Then they called him back. Loretta hit for the pitcher and walked. And Pierre, a fly ball to shallow right to Austin Kearns, and that's the inning. But the Dodgers add 1, and at the end of 7, lead 10-3. to establishing a new record. They will pass the Tigers tonight unless the sky falls in. Adam Dunn, Elijah Dukes, and then Austin Kearns in that order. And Guillermo Mota with Juan Pierre now out there in left field as Manny takes the rest of the night off. Adam Dunn struck out, single to center, grounded out, 1 for 3. Big guy hitting .284, 7 home runs, 20 runs batted in. And a strike. Breeze blowing from right to left. 10 runs, 10 hits for the Dodgers, 3 runs, 6 hits for the Nationals. Among everything else, the Washington pitchers have been very generous. Foul ball, figures to go out of play and does. And really jumps for joy going that many rows back. Casey Blake, who is way over near the bag at second base, had to run from Pasadena to go after the foul ball. The breeze is blowing from right to left. Almost had a play, but not quite. Dodgers have gotten 8 walks, and 4 of the 8 have come around to score. And the Dodgers have 1 strikeout tonight. That was Loney in the first inning. One and 2 the count. Adam Dunn. 10-3 Dodgers in the 8th. 2-2. The 1911 Tigers, led by Ty Cobb. You know what Cobb hit in 1911? .420. He had 83 stolen bases, and he had 127 runs batted in. And yet, the Tigers were second in runs scored. And here's the interesting thing about 1911, the way they played. The Tiger pitching staff earned run average was 3.7, and that was the second worst in the league. 3.7.
Center fielder.
All right, Dunn draws a walk, and the batter is Elijah Dukes. So Mota has given up a home run to Flores, a double to Guzman, wild pitch, and a second run. Now he opens up the 8th with a walk, but a very comfortable 7-run lead. Dukes has walked and flied to right and flied to center. Elijah 0 for 2, batting .301. 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in. 0-2. Dukes with a somewhat long swing, and he has struck out 22 times. So they give him sliders and a 1-2 count. On deck, Austin Kearns. 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ronald Belisario gets up a second time down in the Dodger bullpen. Leading by 7. The Dodgers, well, actually at the time they were leading by 6, and they had Mota sacrifice, and they got their 10th run on the base hit by Hudson, so they're not taking anything for granted. 2-2 the count. For Washington, the most runs that they've scored in a game was 11 against the world champion Phillies. Most runs in an inning, 6 against Houston. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him. So down goes Dukes. He goes 0 for 3. Mota picks up his second strikeout. And the batter will be Austin Kearns.
Right fielder, Austin Kearns.
Kearns struck out, walked, and popped up. 0 for 2. Ball one. We're getting the paid attendance tonight. Not as big as last night and a little bit bigger than the first game with the D-backs. Tonight, 31,348. Fastball hit down to Furcal. The feed to Hudson, who trains it, and the Dodgers come up with a double play. So the Nats go down in the 8th, and at the end of 7½, Dodgers 10, Washington 3. There are several streaks in which the Dodgers have been involved, not opening streaks exactly, but they had a 13-game winning streak at Dodger Stadium back in 1983. They also had a 10-game streak in 1980. And, of course, this one will be a 13-game streak to open up the season without a loss. So each night the Dodgers take the field, they have a chance now to break their own streak. They'll be 13 tonight to tie the 13. Though tomorrow night they have a shot at 14 to stand alone. Couple of changes, and old pal Joe Beimel comes out of the bullpen. Willie Harris moves to left field. Alex Cintron takes over at second base. Cintron would bat in Belliard's spot. Beimel would go in Adam Dunn's spot. Andre Ethier 0-1 the count. So Beimel, who had been on the DL out of St. Mary's in Pennsylvania, pride of Duquesne. Little ground ball. Tough play at shortstop for Guzman, and by the time he gets it there, Ethier is out on a bang-bang play. So a nice play by Guzman, who has made 2 errors tonight, but that was a good one. So Ethier is retired, 1 out in the 8th, and James Loney coming up. Loney with a couple of base hits and a couple of runs batted in. Struck out, grounded out as well. Breaking ball on the corner for a strike. 0-1. Joe Beimel was reinstated from the DL today. He had a strained left hip flexor. He was fielding a swinging bunt against Atlanta. Doing well. Prior to the injury, he had worked scoreless in 7 of 8 appearances. 1 ball and 1 strike. High fly ball to center. Elijah Dukes is there. So 2 down in the 8th inning, and the batter will be Russell Martin. Martin with a couple of hits. Runs scored. One RBI. Beimel is 31. In fact, he just turned 32. 6'3", 215, working on 7 years in the majors. Joe originally came up with Pittsburgh. 1 ball and no strikes. Beimel with the Dodgers 06, 7 and 8. He was 2-1, 4-2, and 5-1. Two and 0 the count to Russell Martin. Beimel, in his years with the Dodgers, had 3 saves. He was never a closer. 2-0 to Martin with Matt Kemp on deck. Dodgers with 10 runs and 10 hits. Ethier is without a hit, but he's walked twice. And Kemp is 0 for 4. Furcal leading the pack with 3 hits, and Orlando Hudson has 2. That's in there. 3-1 to Russell Martin. Tomorrow night, the Dodgers will be going to 14, and the kids will have to change the numbers. 3-1. And a drive to left. That will land. Over to get it is Willie Harris. And Martin heading for 2, and he's in there. So Harris, the second baseman, making a long throw in relief of Adam Dunn. And for Russell Martin, he looks out in left field. Maybe forgot that Willie Harris took over for Adam Dunn. So a 2-out double for Russell Martin, and that would be his 3rd hit. So he and Furcal each have 3 hits. And the batter now will be a very hungry Matt Kemp. Dodgers 10 runs, 11 hits. Matt Kemp reached on an error, looped out to short, flied to center, and hit into a force play. So Matt struggling for the moment. 0 for 4 tonight, 2 for his last 21. Been a very tough 2 weeks for him. And that gets away, and over to third goes Martin. So Beimel trying to keep the ball down and proceeded to bounce it. So it'll be a wild pitch, and the Dodgers 90 feet away from their 11th run. They're 3 outs away from going 13-0 at home and setting the record. The Giants lost. They were really ripped by Colorado 11-1. 1-1. So with the Giants losing and the Dodgers winning, the Dodgers will be 6.5 games in front of San Francisco. 6.5. And here we are, May 6th. 1-1 to Matt Kemp. Little ground ball to short. Guzman, plenty of time. And the Dodgers leave Martin at third. And at the end of 8, Dodgers 10, Nationals 3. will take over at shortstop and give Rafael Furcal a little time off. And Brent Leach, the young fella out of Mississippi, will make his major league debut. Called up from Chattanooga AA when they sent Scott Elbert down. Leach is 26. He'll be 27 the middle of November. 6'5", 215, and even though the Dodgers are leading 10-3, I'm sure he's fighting some butterflies. Signed with the Dodgers, 6th round pick 4 years ago out of Delta State. And basically fastball, curveball, and changeup. So a one-sided game, but it's a big game in the young life of Brent Leach, Leach. He's another young pitcher coming back from Tommy John surgery. He had his TJ back in 2003. So Leach and Castro, the veteran and the kid. And here we go in the 9th inning. Now, as you know, the Dodgers are going to win tonight. They're winning 10-3. It will give them a record of 13-0. And what's in a number? Well, for instance, Alex Cintron wears number 13, and the Dodgers' Orlando Hudson wears number 13. So they are not afflicted with triskaidekaphobia. Triskaidekaphobia translates to the fear of the number 13 and anything associated with it. Don't ever enroll at Colgate University. They have outlawed the use of the word triskaidekaphobia because at Colgate, number 13 is considered lucky. That's a strike. The college was established by 13 men who had $13 and 13 prayers, and the address at Colgate is 13 Oak Drive. Chopper to Castro, one away. Well, and how in the world did 13 end up to have such a bad reputation? Well, there are a lot of explanations. One is the number 13 brings bad luck because there were 13 people presented at the Last Supper in the Bible. Another comes from Norse mythology. And there are all kinds of things about number 13. The famous mystery writer, Agatha Christie, capitalized on the superstition. She wrote 13 short stories and put them in a book titled The 13 Problems. She did it again when she wrote the mystery 13 at Dinner. That turned out to be a movie with Peter Ustinov and Faye Dunaway. The number 13. Well, when the Dodgers take the field tomorrow night, they will have a record of 13-0 at home. 13 is used extensively in American history. If you look at the United States $1 bill, there are 13 items all over the reverse side. There are, if you count them, 13 levels in the pyramid. There are 13 letters in E pluribus unum, one for all. 1 and 2 the count. 2 and 2. And certainly for the Dodgers, 13 will not be unlucky. One other thing, if you count them, there are 13 red and white stripes on an American flag. There are hotels that will not have a 13th floor. One away in the 9th inning. 10-3 Dodgers. That adds up to a total of altogether. Full count. One away. Fastball and a drive into left center, but here comes Pierre. So Brent Leach has retired the first 2 batters in his major league debut, and Willie Harris, who started filling in at second and wound up filling in left, is coming up. The only flurry at all after the Nationals were buried by the 7-run inning. They came back with 2 in the 7th on a home run by Flores and a double by Guzman, but they were out of the game. They were done when the Dodgers scored the 7th. Pitchers tonight: Kershaw, McDonald, Mota, and Leach. And for Clayton Kershaw, who made 99 pitches, he will pick up his first win of the year, and he'll get above 500 in his career. Clayton will be 6-5. On the corner, 1-1 to Willie Harris from Cairo, Georgia. The Honeycutt, Torrey, and the rest of the Dodger staff have to be in good spirits. 13-0 to start the year at home. Breaking ball, missed ball 2, 2-1. Tomorrow night, Jordan Zimmerman and Randy Wolf. Jordan Zimmerman is 2-1, and Randy Wolf is 1-1. That's Randy. On one side was Eric Stoltz, and on the other was Chad Billingsley. There they are. All right, 2-2 the count. Crowd of 31,348. Dodgers with 11 hits and 8 walks and only 1 strikeout. 2-2. Fouled off. So Washington is on the edge of going 7 wins and 18 losses. Manny Acta will bring them back tomorrow with Randy St. Clair and all of his other coaches and try it again. Breaking ball just off the plate. Brent was all set, I think, to run off the field. So 3-2 to Willie Harris. On deck, Christian Guzman, who has 2 doubles and a single. Full count. And he walked him. Say one thing, looking at Brent Leach, we were talking about numbers. He's wearing number 45. That was a number worn with great distinction by Johnny Padres. Johnny also wore number 22, I think. For Leach, he's hit 93 on the gun, so he throws hard. And here is Guzman. 2 doubles and a single. He has scored twice, but he's also committed 2 errors. Fastball, strike. Washington 3 runs on 6 hits. 0-2. So the folks setting in on a little history. Dodgers now a strike away from going 13-0. Nice way for Brent Leach to finish up his debut, striking out a good hitter. And there it is, the number 13. The Dodgers 10 runs, 11 hits.